Good morning, YouTube. So here we are. Last night we received a new occupant as a Christmas gift from my lovely daughter. And he's on the right side here in a 70-gallon, and he's a very, very active and healthy looking guy. He's currently soaking in a little bit of treatments just to make sure his slime coat and his immune system is nice and strong, because he's straight off an airplane as of yesterday. From where, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, from Toronto. But before Toronto, I'm not sure. I live in Canada. So, he's probably been traveling for a few days. He went up the supply chain for a pet shop, and my daughter found him, and she knew what she was looking at. She saw some nice discus there, and she was right, because this guy, for his size, which is, we're talking 3-inch, maybe 4-inch, he's a very, very round discus for a young discus. And this came from the same source that I got Big Red from. And Big Red's always been a really good, healthy, strong fish. He's a dominant fish in the tank. He's actually the boss. That's why we call him Big Red. So, I expect this fish is very healthy. I also picked up the blue oceans I have from this source. Every fish I purchased from this source has been a survivor and done well. So, and because literally as soon as they got these in the store, we begged them. They know us, so we like to get our fish out of the pet shop tank as fast as possible. I would take it straight from the bag out of the airplane if they let me. And so their normal rule on, they quarantine for them for like 2-3 days minimum before they sell them to the public. And but they understand how I feel, and they know that I'll treat them right. So I got them right away. And I like it that way, because the pet shops they're great, but for discus, they plop them in their racks, and the racks are all connected to all their other tanks, and all their other tanks are filled with all sorts of different fish coming from all sorts of different directions, and it's a recipe for disaster. So the sooner you can get one out of the pet shop, the better off you are. And that's what we've done with this guy. And he's soaking in a couple treatments right now. Let me get them up on the shelf so we can show you. So in Canada, we cannot buy antibiotics anymore. But there's workaround products that are still available. These are 3 of them. So when you get a new discus, you just hit up their quarantine tank with these. This helps with healing any damage that's been done in transport, and that fish has some fin damage, so we have this going on. It's Melafix. It's got a lot of homeopathic sort of stuff in it, I guess you could say, that will act like an antibiotic, like tea tree oils and things of that nature. So, this is how we do preventative medicine now in Canada, that we have these insane laws. Don't let us use the better stuff. And then you throw in some Discus trace because you want to make sure you bring in the stress down. And I haven't used this because he's fine, but a lot of times you'll need some of this because you'll get some form of fungus when you buy fish from pet stores. And that's more so, again, nowadays because, and it's not the pet store's fault, don't blame them. I mean, it's not like I'm talking down pet shops because they're a great place to get some nice fish sometimes. But they are struggling with the new rules in the same manner we are. And they can't treat their fish nearly medically as well as they used to because it's destroying the bottom line. A lot of my city is almost out of pet shops because of this, and I hope when we get a new government in our country they will reverse that nonsense and save this industry. And it just has to happen. But so I desperately wish I could put them in right away because I'm not Mr. Quarantine guy. But my fish are clean, and I'm going to at least observe him for 48 hours in this tank with those treatments running and make sure he doesn't have any fungus. His fins are really good. He has bag damage from traveling on his rear fin. It's not disease. He's just split a fin a little bit, and it's actually a lot better today than it looked last night. So it's the sort of injury I expect to almost be gone within 48 hours. If the fish is healthy, that's what you'll get. 2, maybe 3 days. It's a good split, but that'll catch up real quick. And the problem with something like that is it can go fungal, and he's under stress right now. So his healing might be reduced, but he has excellent shape. You can see his belly. He's been eating. He's not all sucked in and pinched in on the belly. He's not all sucked in and pinched in on the forehead. He's got really, really good meat up the sides of him, up his where you see his spine. He's got a good layer of meat there. That's what you want to see in a discus. And for his very young age, lost him. There he is. His very young age, he's exceptionally round and with a high forehead. That's also something you want when you're buying a new young discus. And these are things I had to learn over time. So this fish is going to be the same size as another fish I'm about to show you that I have and that I bought early on in my journey when I didn't know as much. And she's over here. And she pretty much looked like this when I bought her. And she stayed like this. And this is what you don't want to buy. See that shape? Pointy nose, huge eyes. She's beautiful color-wise, and that's why I bought her. But I've had her for 5 months, and she was sick. And I healed her, and she's gained weight, but she has not begun to grow. She hasn't grown at all. She hasn't had any gains in circumference yet. And we'll see what happens with her in time. But she's clearly stunted, and I bought her that way. So if you see a discus that looks like this one, don't go near it. Especially if it has a skinny forehead, because when I brought her home, she had a paper, razor-thin forehead. And that was another mistake I made. Never do that. So what you want is a fish that looks like this guy. He's got small eyes. His eye to body size ratio is pretty much perfect for his size. And this fish is not stunted. So not stunted, stunted. They're both roughly the same size. And you can see the difference in the skull, how the skull's been deformed by the stunting. and the extreme size of the eyeballs. Like she's got the eyeballs of a 5 month, 6 month old fish, but she doesn't have the body of a 5 month, 6 month old fish. So that's what you want to watch for. And it's our new guy. He's hanging out in the shade. He really, really wants to be with the other discus. You can see them through the glass, and that's an excellent sign. That means he's healthy. A sick discus will run off and hide and not want to be around the other discus. It's probably a natural defensive mechanism. Like if you're sick, you get away from the crowd so that you don't make them sick, right? And that's kind of what they do. They'll go off on their own. He's desperately up and down the glass trying to get through and be with them. And that's a sign of a healthy fish. So we're going to wrap this one up there, but that's our new occupant. And he's beautiful little yellow. I don't know where this one's from. I'm no clue. Have a wonderful day.